Get off my HOA property now. That's the first thing I heard, right? As I was soaking my sneakers with the garden hose just trying to keep my tomatoes alive on a Saturday morning, when this blonde woman storms up to my fence, her clipboard clutched like a medieval weapon face, purple, screaming at me like I'd broken into the White House. And I know what you're thinking. Okay, what did I do to set off this walking siren? Truth is, this was my yard, my house. Riverside Heights, no HOA, never had one, never wanted one. Yet here was Karen Whitmore dialed up to 11, shouting trespasser and liar thumb, already stabbing 911 on her phone like she was launching nukes. You ever get hit with something so weird? Your brain just stalls out. Because that was me, mouth open, garden hose dripping, thinking, how am I trespassing in my own damn yard? If you've ever lived next to somebody drunk on imaginary power, you know that feeling in your gut. Here we go, this is about to get ugly. And I had no idea how deep it would go, how far this would reach, or what it would cost me by the time it was all said and done. It was a classic California morning, that coolness that's gone by, 9 a.m. Anna, my wife, was still at work, pulling another night shift at Valley Medical. I was up at 6, enjoying my coffee, just happy to have bought into Riverside Heights 5 years back. No paint police, no trash can timers, no letter about your unsightly lawn chairs. Freedom, at least until Karen shattered it. Now I'd seen her before, always marching down Maple Avenue, clipboard in hand, lips tight, like she was in charge of the world. But she was from Oakwood Estates, the HOA across the street, and she'd never crossed that invisible line before. Today she was standing on my grass. Ma'am, I'm literally in my own yard, I told her, trying to keep my voice even though my hands were starting to shake. She started rattling off about some regulation 7.3.2, how all activities within 50 feet of her HOA boundary were under their control. I swear I almost laughed out loud. That's not how property laws work. The line's all the way over there, I said, pointing at Maple Avenue. Didn't matter. She started screaming liar so loud the neighborhood dogs set each other off. She was waving her clipboard at me like she was casting a spell, shouting she had authority, she had documentation. By then, Mrs. Smith, 2 doors down, had her phone out recording. Tom across the street had his coffee frozen halfway to his lips. Kids on bikes rolled up, wide-eyed. It was like the world stopped to watch the circus in my front yard. So then Karen declares she's calling the police, one hand shaking the other, death gripping that clipboard like it's her last lifeline. You're trespassing, you're threatening me, you're violating the sanctity of Oakwood Estates. All while I haven't moved more than a foot, standing in puddles from the hose. I haven't threatened anybody. I said, trying to sound reasonable, though I felt anything but. You came onto my street to yell at me. Now she's on 911. Breathless. There's a man trespassing and threatening me. He claims he's not in our HOA, but he's lying. And all around me, more phones come up, more neighbors watching. Suburbia, right, free reality TV. But let me tell you, this wasn't some comedy sketch. Every phone, every whisper, it felt like the beginning of something you couldn't take back, like watching a courtroom take shape right there on your lawn. Then Karen into the phone. He's refusing to leave watering plants aggressively. You heard that right. Aggressive plant watering, that was a new one for me. But there was something in her eyes, cold, calculated. This wasn't a meltdown, it was a script, a routine she'd practiced. Suddenly I realized I wasn't just arguing with a busybody, I was playing a part in a show she'd been running for years. Police roll up after about 15 minutes. Officer Thompson, big guy local, I'd seen him at town halls, and Anderson looking like he'd rather be anywhere else. Karen rushes them before they're even out of the cruiser. Thank God, this man is trespassing. He's lying. He says he's not in my HOA. Thompson just holds up a hand. Ma'am, let's calm down. Turns to me. Sir, what's happening? Officer, my name's Henry Mitchell. I live here. That's my house. I was watering my plants when this woman showed up screaming, I'm trespassing. Karen's still yelling liar face purple now. Anderson says, let's verify the property lines. Ma'am, can you show us where your HOA boundary is? For the first time, she hesitates. Starts flipping through her papers, muttering about regulations. Thompson pulls me aside, quiet. You got documentation. Yeah, but this is Riverside Heights. There's no HOA. Never has been. Oakwood's over there. He nods slow like he already knows. She done this before I ask. He doesn't answer, but his eyes flicker. We'll need to verify legal boundaries, he says, louder this time. The sun's climbing. Sweat on my neck, not from the heat. The neighbors, the cops, the dogs barking. I look around at people I've known for years, all staring at me like I'm on trial for murder. Karen's now arguing about extended jurisdiction and waving her clipboard so hard she nearly hits herself. Finally, Thompson tells her, ma'am, HOA authority ends at the property line. This man's on his own property. She shrieks. We filed for extended jurisdiction. Anderson's already looking it up on his tablet. Even if you filed doesn't make it legal, he says. You can't enforce rules where you don't own. And there it is. Her face wilts, sweat beads on her hair. But she's not backing down. I want him arrested, she demands. Trespassing, lying harassment. Thompson, gentle but firm. Ma'am, you came onto his property. She's losing control. And for a split second, I see fear, real deep fear, flash in her eyes. She storms off, heels, snapping the pavement, but not before she points that clipboard at me like a loaded gun. This isn't over, Henry Mitchell. You've made a powerful enemy today. Officers, wait until she's gone. Anderson sighs. You might want to document everything Thompson says. Get statements, consider cameras. This isn't the first time for Ms. Whitmore. After they leave, neighbors offer their videos. Mrs. Smith pats my arm. You be careful, Henry. Anna pulls into the drive, sees the crowd, and before I can explain, my phone buzzes. Unknown number. You don't know me, a nervous man says, but Karen just made you a target. Apologize while you can. Click. And that's how my morning went, from tomatoes to the Twilight Zone. Oakwood Estates, hidden by the trees, that silly 47-foot strip between us. I stood there, hose forgotten, realizing she'd made a mistake. She'd threatened me at home. I don't back down from bullies. Sunday morning, my phone blows up before my coffee's done. Someone's posted a video on the neighborhood Facebook group, Local Electrician Harasses. HOA President. The footage, only me holding a hose. Karen screaming, my calm voice muted. Anna scrolls through the comments. People are saying you threatened her, stalked the HOA. Then another call, should have listened when Karen warned you. Another, people who cross Oakwood regret it. My clients start bailing, 3 in an hour, reputation ruined overnight. Then a process server drops off a cease and desist. Oakwood Estates accuses me of trespass threats and emotional distress. The letter dated 2 days before Karen's meltdown. It was all planned. Lawyer time. Every firm quotes sky-high fees. I dig into Oakwood's public documents. Karen's name is everywhere, always pushing for more power, always security concerns. Then I find a forum, horror stories, harassment patterns, Oakwood driving people out. Officer Thompson calls. Meet me. Unofficial. Over coffee, he admits Karen's called the police 47 times in 2 years, always targeting Riverside Heights. One family, 6 months of hell, then they sold and ran. Why tell me, I ask? He slides me a card. Linda Brooks, paralegal. She's your best shot. Then off the record, Karen's the worst kind of bully. Document everything. Back home, Anna's crying. Some troll posted that she supports HOA harassment at her hospital. HR wants a meeting. Karen's not just after me, she's gunning for my wife's career. That night, Tom from across the street shows me a private Facebook group, Riverside Heights Watch, 300 members, all Oakwood addresses full of photos, license plates, daily routines, surveillance on all of us. A woman named Janet Foster calls. I was on the Oakwood board until Karen ruined my life. I have proof, minutes, emails, financials. Meet me tomorrow night. She tells me Karen stealing from the HOA, forging documents, plans to annex Riverside Heights, make our lives so miserable we sell, then fill the street with HOA loyalists. She's already converted 2 streets, Janet says. You have the video. You have leverage. But be smart, she's got connections. That night I can't sleep. Threats, surveillance, financial sabotage. But now evidence. Janet's flash drive is packed with meetings, audio, video, Karen planning to apply pressure target undesirables, force sales, even mentioning Phase 2 commercial district. My business, Anna's hospital, everything in the crosshairs. And Karen's got a guy, Bradley Clark, embezzling with her. Janet's tried to blow the whistle before, but every time she gets smeared, her marriage destroyed. The city's old records showed the 47 feet separating us was intentional, a loophole, a unification clause. Karen's not just running an HOA, she's running a hostile takeover for a developer shell companies buying up every house, millions on the line. When I finally pull it all together, cease and desist, letters, threats, surveillance, fake invoices, financials, it's a criminal enterprise. Rachel Cooper, a lawyer famous for busting corrupt HOAs, takes the case. This is RICO level, she says. We launch a class action. More neighbors join in, some former Oakwood board members. Tom flips hands over the surveillance plan's physical backups, Unit 47, at public storage. That number again. The media jumps in. HOA Karen trends. My story goes viral. Rachel has legal observers at the Oakwood meeting. Karen tries to rally support, but the board votes her out 6-1. Officer Thompson escorts her out as she screams at me, "You destroyed everything." But it isn't over. Our cars get vandalized. Anna gets stalked at work. Karen's network tries to ruin my business. The threats get uglier. But our side's growing. Tom helps install security. Janet and Rachel coordinate evidence. More families join, even some Oakwood loyalists. When Rachel connects the shell companies to Karen's law firm, the DA and FBI get involved. Arrests start. Karen, 2 board members, the developer caught trying to flee the country. In court, Karen's mask finally slips. Audio, emails, spreadsheets. Even her ex-assistant testifies she forged documents, plotted optimization by destroying families. My old DUI, Anna's medical history, all dragged out in the media, but the jury sees through it. Guilty on every count. Judge slams her with 15 years, bans her from HOA work, forever orders restitution. Oakwood dissolves its HOA. Both neighborhoods form a real community association. We plant 47 oak trees between us, one for every family Karen tried to ruin. Anna's promoted, my business comes back, and even Tom finds redemption running the new neighborhood watch, ethically this time. Janet starts a national reform movement. Patricia, Karen's ex-assistant, writes a bestseller, The Clipboard Empire. 5 years later, we're still here, gardens growing, kids laughing, neighbors talking, nobody looking over their shoulder. Every time I water those tomatoes, I remember how this all started, just a simple act of standing my ground. So here's my question to you. If someone like Karen came after your neighborhood, would you stand up or stay silent? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Tell me if you've tangled with a clipboard tyrant. And hey, if you want more real stories about justice, hit subscribe, smash that like, and let's keep building communities that look out for each other. Because power only wins if we let it. You know what I mean?